Senator Davis, you have the floor.
Thank you. I'll continue reading these letters. I don't have too many more of them. This one is from someone named Raul. Senator, I have 4 adult daughters, and I appreciate you standing up for their right to choose what to do with their bodies and to continue to have that option. I would never encourage my daughter to have an abortion. However, I believe in my heart that they must have the choice available to them. Let's keep our state moving forward and not regress to a time when women had to take huge health risks on top of the weight of a very personal situation. Keep up the fight, and I will pray, yes, a Christian praying for you, that God give you the strength to prevail in your effort to stand up, not only to defend women, but the laws of our great country. This is from a person named Nancy. Nancy writes, last year when they passed the sonogram law, I was so upset I actually sent an email message to Governor Perry's office to veto the measure. I'm pretty sure he never saw it, but I had to express my dismay. You and I know it takes 2 people to conceive a baby, but if the pregnancy is unexpected or poorly timed and the male partner leaves the relationship, the female bears the total physical, emotional, economic, and social obligations to raise the child. She has a few choices, and if she is lucky, she will have family to help her with support as necessary. To conceive a child for many women is easy. To raise a child is really hard. To give birth and then place that child up for adoption is excruciating. To decide to abort is a truly hard decision, not made lightly and forever remembered. These are forever decisions. Why do men think they have the right to decide this very personal decision of a woman? To have no options except a backroom, unsafe, and unsanitary procedure puts women back into the 19th century. It's obvious that the governor and the Republicans of Texas care very little for the health of the women of this state. They also do not care for the quality of life for the children of this state. Unwanted children often suffer malnutrition, poor early development, abuse, neglect, and have lower self-esteem. A child should be born into a loving environment where it can grow and develop into a productive adult. Since the educational system of Texas now spends at the level less than 48 other states on the public education for the children in the state, it would seem that the state might want fewer children encumbered with a lack of nutrition, early childhood development, and social skills. By making abortions more difficult to obtain, more children will be born in Texas to families who cannot provide for them, or to single mothers without resources to create a nurturing environment. Women will go to other states, back rooms, or illegal centers. There might also be an increase in abuse to women because they got pregnant. It is amazing that men make the laws that regulate women's bodies. If men carried babies, went through childbirth, and survived the continual responsibility for more than 18 years required to raise a child, they may think differently. They are removed from a good portion of child care, even if they think they are being proactive parents. Whether I believe in or would seek an abortion is not the issue. It is whether the option is available to a woman who would seek an abortion. It is extremely personal. To formulate legislation so that option is no longer available removes a woman's rights to control her own body. That legislation does not change the morality of anyone. It only increases the anguish some women must go through. I would never require anyone to have an abortion, but should I encounter someone who does want the procedure, then I want it readily available. There are many reasons a woman may want to abort: drug consumption during pregnancy, failed contraceptives, casual sexual encounter, economic strain on the current family, too young, known deformed fetus, and probably many others I cannot list. In the right situation, these are all viable reasons to not continue a pregnancy. Thank you for trying to stop this regressive and damaging legislation. Nancy. This is from Paul. He writes, in Judaism, the health of the mother is paramount. The fetus is considered a part of the mother's body, not a person with preferential rights. In Exodus 21, verse 22, when a miscarriage results from a woman being injured as a bystander to a fight, the guilty party must compensate the woman, her husband actually, but this was 3,300 years ago, just as they would be compensated for the loss of an arm. Therefore, if carrying the baby to term would seriously threaten the mother's health, an abortion is not just permissible, it is required in the same manner as the removal of a severely infected or damaged extremity. This legislation would take an alternative religious view, that the fetus is a separate full person whose rights are superior to those of the mother, and impose it on those who have a different, sincerely held religious belief in absolute violation of both the U.S. and Texas constitutions. Just as it would be impermissible to require the Jewish standard to be imposed on a devout Catholic or Baptist who believes that separate life begins at conception and that the fetus takes precedence over the health of the mother, it is equally wrong to impose a standard that violates the Jewish and biblical principle of the primacy of the mother on someone who observes that understanding. I hope this helps both to inform and fill some of the many hours you have ahead. Paul. From Penny. My mom died 3 years ago at 92. With 3 small children and a husband war-wounded in World War II, she was in physical danger from an unexpected 4th pregnancy. Abortions were legal in the 1940s, and one, although sad, saved her life and our family. How could these people who want to prevent all abortions have looked into our eyes, ages 5, 3, and 2, and said it was for the greater good for our mother to die when she could be and was saved? Penny. From Sharon. I stand with you as you battle for women's rights in Texas. I am a born and bred Catholic Texan with 2 daughters and 1 granddaughter. To think that my children's rights could be trampled by this bill simply enrages me. We have been so very blessed thus far with healthy and planned pregnancies, but that could change in the blink of an eye. No one ever foresees a crisis of the magnitude and despair that many women face. I fully support your efforts to stop this bad bill. I am pro-life and pro-choice. I also teach, so I look into the eyes of poverty each and every class day. I believe that as new Texans are born, their needs should be taken care of, but I don't see that happening. Shutting down clinics for women's health is certainly a giant leap in the wrong direction. Surely our esteemed legislators are all well aware of the good that places like Planned Parenthood do. They prevent so many pregnancies as well as assist pregnant women to find adoptive, loving homes for babies. Yet it is so very obvious that this bill is a purely political bill designed to attract certain voters. Well, there are many other voters out here in this great big state. Voters who want Texas to move forward, not backward. I stand united with you, Senator Davis, and the countless other women who have fought for the rights of women. This is 2013. What a travesty that in this new century, so many in our Texas legislature want to reverse the progress women and men have made. This from Myrtle. In 1944, when I was 10 years old, I almost lost my mother from a botched abortion. For the first time in many years, financially she was making it, but she knew that my grandmother, who had taken care of me and my sister, could no longer care for an infant. So she went to my dad's cousin, her obstetrician, and he refused to do it as he could lose his license. Instead, she went to the neighborhood abortionist. Afterwards, she started to bleed profusely. My dad called his cousin, who again refused to treat my mother. Dad finally found a doctor willing to keep my mother from bleeding to death. It was months till she felt well again. She suffered from severe anemia and severe depression. Mother started speaking out for legalized abortion when Roe v. Wade came about. She didn't want any other woman to suffer like she did. Fortunately, no one else in my family has had to face the challenge of an unwanted pregnancy. I spent 8 years as a volunteer going through labor with women at John Peter Smith Hospital. There they do not do abortions. They also do not train doctors to do them. Where is a poor woman in Tarrant County going to go if the proposed law passes? And this is from Judy. As a divorcee of 75 with 4 happily married children, I don't personally have a dog in this fight, but I am horrified for the women and children who will go without medical care because clinics are closed. Many women will die of female diseases, but the old, angry, white men don't care. I don't understand how they can turn their backs on women's health needs of which they have no understanding or knowledge. I read some of them don't even know what a rape kit is. Let them be told vasectomies are against the law and listen to the uproar. I grew up as a doctor's daughter in the days of back alley, coat hanger abortions, and I remember too well a frantic call from a surgeon to my dad. I told him my dad was sleeping, and he swore and said he didn't care to get him now. The surgeon had been called to help another doctor with a patient, and when he got there, he discovered it was an illegal abortion. The patient died. The surgeon, who had not participated, saw his career go down the tubes and needed my dad's advice. I remember, too, always my friend whose college roommate died from an illegal abortion. We can't possibly go back to those days. If one of my daughters or daughters-in-law wanted abortion, I would be heartbroken. But it would be their choice, not a decision made by me or made by men in the legislature. This from Edie. Edie writes, thank you for your courage in standing for Texas women. We need a lot more legislators in our Texas legislature like you. We all know this bill has nothing to do with protecting women's health. In fact, it will do the opposite. I'm amazed that Republicans think this will win them elections. Primaries, maybe, but not elections. The truth is that women will always need and get abortions. I am old enough that I can remember when abortions were not legal. I remember girls who were sent away to have babies they were too young to care for, then giving them up for adoption, not even understanding what they were signing or its significance. I remember a college friend having a back alley abortion. Fortunately, she was okay, but it was very expensive, and she had to drop out of school for a semester. I know another young woman who got pregnant at 26 by a man who was just a boyfriend. She was lucky that the Supreme Court had just made abortion legal, and she was able to get one in a hospital and avoid an unwanted pregnancy with a man she did not plan to spend her life with. Somehow, the right-to-lifers are happy to protect the life of unborn fetuses, but care nothing for the woman who would be given birth to the fetus. She seems to have no rights, even in cases of rape or incest. Once a child is born, the right-to-lifers move on to the next pregnant woman to prevent her from having an abortion if she wants one. They are not the least bit interested in protecting the newly born child or the mother who brought it into the world. Also, many right-to-lifers just happen to also believe in capital punishment. How is that consistent? It's okay to kill a grown man or woman, but absolutely not okay to destroy an unviable fetus a woman cannot afford to support. No legislation will ever prevent women from having abortions. They will return to back alleys and other dangerous situations. All the Texas legislators are doing is putting on full display their contempt for women. We will not forget when we next go to the voting booths.